What it is, guys, it's your girl Jericka back at it again. And if you're wondering why is Jericka in the bathroom, because I'm pretty sure people's gonna notice the toilet paper. But in my bathroom I have a vent and I'm smoking a cigarette. Do not smoke cigarettes, it is not good for you. But this actually helps with my anxiety. I'm loving my hair today. It's nice and straight thanks to that hairbrush. And I did go with my small hair straightener for the edges, but all this is all because of that brush. So like I said, and I cannot say it enough, run and get you some. And no, this is not sponsored. I paid it with my own money and this is a real review. Okay, anyways, today is story time, guys. I have not done story time in my channel. I've done everything from vlogs, real talks, Jericka talks, hauls, reviews, and all that other good stuff. But today, I want to talk about adoption. Story time, my adoption. And why, you may ask? Because a lot of people are adopted. And a lot of them feel shamed to talk about it, or for others to think like, oh yeah, you're adopted, that's not your real mom, or that's not your real dad, that's not your real brother and sister. So I want to tell you how I found out I was adopted, how did I take it, at what age, and overall, how do I feel about it. Okay, got it? Good. Alright guys, so I was adopted when I was 3 months old. And from the story that I was told from my aunt, who was my adoptive mother, the one I mourn because she passed away, because that was my heart and soul. My mom, as many of you know from previous videos, know that my parents were drug addicts. And when I was born, I have said this in a previous video, I was born with the shakes and having to go through the whole withdrawal. And anyway, my mom had me till I was, I believe, like 2 months old. Then one day she came with me to the house, to my grandma's house, my maternal grandma's house. And she said she was hungry and my grandma gave her $20 to go buy Chinese food. And she disappeared. She didn't come back for me. She left. And now that I'm older, I realized that, grandma should have expected that. She was a drug addict. And those $20 was gonna be for her high. And whatever the case may be, at that time my grandma already had my other brother and sisters. She had my oldest sister, she had my brother, and another sister of mine. My paternal grandmother had another sister. So my grandma had me, but it got to the point where Children's Services told her that they were not going to pay her for me because she already had other foster kids as well as my other brother and sister, so she was getting a hefty income. And as bad as it sounds, my grandma wasn't with it. She didn't want to take me because they was not going to pay her. So next best thing, she called my grandma from my paternal side. But my grandma was an old woman and sick. She had health issues. She already had my sister. She would have loved to take me, but she couldn't. So she called her daughter, which was my father's sister, and asked her, she explained to her the whole situation. My mom tells me that at that time, she had a great job. She always wanted kids, but she couldn't have kids. So at first she refused because she was doing so well, being on her own, having a good job. But my grandma gave her the guilt trip and she took me. So the way she tells me was that at first, she didn't love me. She detested the thought of me because I was a baby, a small baby, and I was going through the whole withdrawals and I was always crying and everything. And she didn't really have the experience to deal with a baby. But as time progressed, she fell in love with me, and it was a wrap from there. Now, how I found out I was adopted. Well, what I remember as a child, and it could be like that or it could be a little different, but I'm trying to remember from when I was a little girl and I found out I was adopted. Well, my biological mom would come around, but they would always tell me she was my aunt. And that's how I knew her as growing up, my aunt, my titi. So I remember she would come around and she would get my sisters and me when I was in my dad's house visiting. Sorry guys, and if you're wondering why I smoke, it's because of my anxiety. I'm not on any medication, so this helps with my anxiety a lot, which is bad. And don't worry, I ordered patches, so I will be quitting soon. So, yeah, so one day we was walking around the neighborhood, and I would always hear my brother and my sisters say, "Mom, this, Mom, that, this, that," and I was the only weirdo calling her titi. And I'm like, but you guys are my brothers and sisters, so why are you calling her mom and I'm calling her titi? So I voiced it, and my sister told me because I was adopted. Now when she told me this, I was about 5 years old. I didn't understand shit, you understand? So I was like, oh, okay, cool. And it didn't bother me. I was young, and no matter what you said, my mommy was my mommy, and she was waiting for me at home. So I already knew that my mom was not my mom, but I really didn't care, or I didn't think much of it because I was an only child and I was a spoiled child. So it really didn't affect me much. So growing up, when I told my mom, because my mom was trying to break it down to me when I was like 6 years old. And when she was trying to tell me, I said, "Mom, I already know I'm adopted." No worry. And she was looking at me like, "How you know that? And who told you?" And I then put my sister on blast, like, and my sister Ange told me. And she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill this girl." So, yeah, so I knew as of a young age I was adopted, and it didn't affect me at all. But it started affecting me when I was hitting my preteens, and I really wanted to get to know my mom. And I started acting out till my mom approved. And my mom really didn't want me hanging with my biological sisters because she said they were bad influence. And then she was skeptical about my mom because my mom at that time, she was recovering addict. She was clean for a whole year. So I was really proud of her. But through drugs, she did get AIDS. And when I started coming around her, she used to petrify me because my mom was like a skeleton. She was so skinny. A size small used to just drop on her. So it was scary. And then it got to the point where I had to sleep one day. I was sleeping over and I couldn't do it. I couldn't sleep with her. My mom had to get me a cab and send me home. So anyway, my biological mom was my best friend as well. The time that we knew each other or was getting to know each other. And it was great. Like, she would give me advice as a friend, but she would still let me know I'm your mom and I will kick your ass. That type of thing. And I didn't get to build a good relationship with my mom because about 8-9 months later, she passed away, and that's what affected me. I didn't get to ask my mom the questions of, why did you abandon me? Did you not love me? Was I not good enough? Was drugs that important to you that you would just leave me? Like, all these questions I held on to, and it affected me after being a teenager. So fast forward now that I'm an adult, and honestly, I didn't forgive my biological mom or my dad till I was about 22, 23. At this point, I already had my own kids, and I had to sit down one day and try to put myself in her shoes. And how I was able to forgive her was, I told myself, my mom loved me so much that she knew that she wouldn't be able to give me the life I deserved. And she loved me so much that she wanted me to have a better future. And because I thought that way, I couldn't be angry with her. I forgave her. And after I forgave her, I felt such a weight lift off my shoulders. And it was such an amazing thing. Now, what I could tell you guys, if you guys are adopted or even considering adoption, for those that are adopted, there's no reason or no shame to feel that you're adopted. That means your parent loved you so much that they knew that they couldn't do for you, and they gave you up. And I wouldn't say give you up. They gave you a better life. And that's what you need to focus on. How would life have been if you would have been with your parents? Either they probably would have been teens or drug addicts, or whatever the case may be. They thought about the bigger picture. And that's something you have to be grateful for, because you have a better life now, and that's all because they gave a damn. And that's how you have to look at it, guys. Because if you look at it being a negative thing, you're gonna hold so much hate in your heart, and it's not worth living life with hate. Why have so much hate inside? It's not worth it. It's not healthy. It's really not. And for those that are considering adoption, God bless your heart. Do you know how many children are in foster care just waiting for that day for someone to say, I want you because you're so beautiful, or you're so handsome, or because you're just adorable. And they pray every night to get a home. And it's sad because a lot of kids tend to age out the system because they couldn't find a home. And a lot of foster parents tend to want babies or little ones under the age of 5. And children that are older than 5 years old, unfortunately, they don't get a chance. And what I'm trying to tell you guys is, if you want to adopt a child and you want a baby because maybe you can't have children, I get it. I really do. Because that was going to be my option if I couldn't have children, because of the circumstances that I had previously said. Doctors said I can have no children. So that was going to be my option for adoption. I was going to adopt. And I didn't care if they were purple, blue, yellow, white, black, African, Chinese, Indian. I didn't give a damn. And I think you shouldn't either if you were to adopt. Because there's children of every race and color that need a home, a loving home. And with that being said, guys, don't be afraid to adopt. If you have the space and the love in your heart and you love children, go ahead. Go adopt a baby. Go adopt a child. Go adopt a teen, because they need love too, you know. And I felt like if I shared this story, it will bring me closer to you guys, where I'm letting myself be vulnerable and be able to express myself to you guys. And not only am I opening your eyes or getting to know me more, but it's also helping me in a therapeutic way, because a lot of these things I kept bottled in and I wouldn't talk about it because I felt like it wasn't relevant. Nobody needs to be in my life, be nosy. And now that I'm older, I'm like, I'm okay with it. I'm okay for anybody to know my story, because my story is who makes me me. And if my subscribers are gonna love me, they're gonna love me for me, the real me. And I will always stay true. No matter if I end up blowing up, I'll always be myself. Or if I don't end up blowing up, I'm always gonna be me. Why? Because I come from a humbled place. I come from the bottom, and I'm slowly climbing, and that's all right, because I'm growing as a person, and I see that every day, and it's amazing. So thank you for allowing me to share my stories with you, and for my subscribers that comment back and tell me that, yeah, for example, when I did the depression anxiety video, you guys said, oh my God, thank you, because I felt alone. I had depression anxiety. And you know what? Like I told you guys are not alone. If you ever need a friend or someone to listen to, I'm your girl. Hit me up. My Gmail, cosmeticstar89@gmail.com. Subject line, I just need someone to talk to. Or I'm feeling depressed. Or my anxiety has the best of me. Or anything, I'm here for you. And I genuinely say that from the bottom of my heart. I'm not just saying that for views or subscribers. I could care less. I love my subscribers, but this is not what I'm here for, to just miraculously one day blow up. That is not why I do this. I do this because I love what I'm doing, and I love being able to meet new people, new friends, and that's very important for me. So that is all for today for story time. I just felt that I wanted to tell my adoption story because that's something I don't talk about to anyone. And I felt like it was time to just, let you guys know. And if you're adopted, you're not alone. You're not. I'm adopted, and I'm very happy. Very, very happy. And I was not the only adopted child. My brother and my sister were also adopted, but they are my nieces and nephew. But I would never get into that story because that's very, very personal, and it's not my place to tell at all via video, I feel, because it's something that has to do with my family, and I wouldn't want to, put their business out there because I love them so much. But if you would like to know more, I do have a blog, and it's called Pieces of Me, and it's my whole life story, from beginning to a happy ending. And I was gonna continue writing on that blog, but that story is what made me me, and I feel like that was enough. So go check it out. It's cosmeticstar89.blogspot.com. And it's called Pieces of Me. If you really want to get into further detail about my life story, it will be there. So that's it, guys. Kisses. And for all my new subscribers, welcome. I would love to have you in my family. So please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you guys could know when your girl is doing videos. And everybody knows I've been doing videos every day, and sometimes one video, sometimes two videos, sometimes 3 videos. I give you guys content. So with that being said, I love you guys, and until the next video.